Do you want to know what some of my favorite videos on YouTube to watch are? This might show you how weird I can be sometimes. I love to watch the videos of treadmill fails, and you know the ones I'm talking about. The guy sprinting on a treadmill until he can't sprint anymore and he collapses only to have the treadmill shoot him off the back. Or the lady who's running and for whatever reason she looks over her left shoulder and she loses her footing and goes for a ride. Or that kid who tries out their parents' treadmill in the basement. A great idea. But as they get more and more comfortable, little by little, they speed up the treadmill until they get to the point where they couldn't keep up and they fly off the back of the treadmill and their foot goes through the wall behind them. And then the best part is everyone gets up and they have the look of utter dismay. Like, what on earth just happened? The epic treadmill fails. I think that is a great analogy for the lives that you and me, that we live in. Isn't that how life is? We do a little more and a little more. We go to school, we take on those school loans, then we take on a job to pay for said school loans. Then we need a car to drive us, to get us to that job, so now we have a car payment. And then a girl arrives who becomes a girlfriend, who becomes a wife, who has babies, and those babies play soccer, dance, and hockey. And then, of course, they'll all need braces. And then more kids will come, and a bigger house is needed to fit all those kids in, so you'll need a second job and more debt. And then comes the lake cabin, the surfboat, and the camper, and the trip to Tahiti. Before you know it, you are running on the treadmill faster than you were ever created to run. You find yourself multitasking by brushing your teeth while you are in the shower so that you can save time, or sending work text messages while you are sitting on the toilet. And all of a sudden we wake up one day wondering, is this all there is in life? Constantly running? How do I find time for the things that really matter most in my life? Folks, we are in the midst of a worship series called Unplugged. We kicked it off last week, and here is what the series is all about. We believe here at Central that God didn't create us for busy, to live lives in which we are constantly strung out, burnt out, and being pulled in every which direction. We have a God who actually invites people like you and me to unplug, to actually unplug every now and then. And so today I want to get into this idea that many of us are just too blasted busy for the things that really matter. And I want to start addressing this idea by first offering up a personal confession. And the confession is this: I, your pastor, Aaron Sturgis, I don't do slow really well. Actually, I don't do slow hardly ever. Ask the team here at Central what it's like to be on the other side of me. I'm great at getting her done. The guy here at Central, I throw the idea out and then it's got to get done because I'm on to the next idea. At home, any project I do, I have little to no patience. I need to get it done. Kids' game is at 8 a.m. in the morning. I need to be at the field by 7:30, leaving the house 30 minutes before I even need to leave because I hate slow. Watch me with my family at the Minnesota State Fair. We set out on a destination, and I'm the one always walking 10, 15, 20 yards ahead of everyone because let's get to the destination already. Who am I? There are birds to hunt, woods to explore, golf courses to golf, and Netflix shows to binge watch. That's who I am. And if you know me, you know that's what I'm like. And here's what I'm realizing in life about my busyness and my pace of life. My busyness is at the expense of the people who matter most. I can regularly justify things I need to do at the expense of my family. No, family, we don't need to sit down around the table for dinner because I've got this to watch. Or no, family, we don't need to take that vacation because I have an opportunity at work that is presenting itself. I regularly can justify not spending time with friends. I can regularly justify why I couldn't take the night off so that I could take my kids mountain biking on the single track trails. So this message actually is a bit of a therapy session for your pastor, but maybe it will help you as well. Here's what I want to do. I want to take a look at something very unique in the life of Jesus Christ. A little characteristic of Jesus that you may have never noticed before. Jesus died around the age of 30. He really only had 3 years of public ministry, and it's remarkable to think about what Jesus did in those 3 years. Jesus recruited 12 disciples. He trained them up, teach them. He traveled all over and healed the sick. He fulfilled the prophecies. He spent time with sinners and outcasts. He challenged the Pharisees. Really, Jesus started a movement that would change the world, and he did it all in just 3 years. But here's a little detail that many of us never probably notice. Jesus never once ran, like literally ran. There's no record of Jesus running, jogging, sprinting, or speed walking. He accomplished remarkable things, but never rushed. He was busy, but never rushed on the inside. He never ran. He always had a healthy pace in life. The passages in Jesus' life that show this healthy pace look like this. In Mark chapter 2, it says this: once again, Jesus went outside beside the lake. A large crowd came to him, and he began to teach them. And it says, as Jesus walked along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at the tax collector's booth. Follow me, Jesus told him. And Levi got up, and he followed him. See, because Jesus took a slower pace in life, he noticed people, because there's the thing about Jesus. Jesus never ran. At the very beginning of his ministry, when he was like 26 or 27, he was baptized by John in the river Jordan. And when Jesus came up out of the water, there was this booming voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son with whom I am well pleased." It's as if God is saying, hey, this is your start date, Jesus. Your ministry can officially start now. You go and do it all. And do you know what Jesus did on the very first day of work? He went on a vacation. He went out into a desert. And he went out on a camping trip to get some rest and relaxation, because here's the thing about Jesus. Jesus never ran. His first miracle, Jesus was at the wedding banquet, and Jesus must have stayed pretty darn late because all of the wine ran out. And you know what he did? He didn't go home because he had so much to do the next morning at work. No, Jesus said, hey, this party can't stop. We're going to make more wine, because Jesus never ran. That first Palm Sunday when Jesus came into Jerusalem, Jesus didn't ride on a horse or a stallion. No, he rode on a very old donkey. There was a guy by the name of Jairus, and he was a religious official, and his daughter was dying, and he had exhausted all of his options. So he went to Jesus, and he said, Jesus, will you just come and see to my daughter? And Jesus said, of course I will. And as he goes to his house, Jesus gets distracted by some other woman. And instead of going straight to the dying girl, he spent time on the side with this woman. And in that time, Jairus' daughter dies. Now, Jesus would eventually get there and heal his daughter. But here's the thing about Jesus. Jesus never what, church? Ran. Jesus was never hurried. He never said, I'm just too busy today. Jesus never ran. So my question for you is this: if Jesus wasn't rushed, why are we? If we follow Jesus, an unrushed Jesus, doesn't that give us permission to live an unrushed life? If you follow an unrushed God, shouldn't you live an unrushed life? Shouldn't we live with a similar sort of pace? Imagine how that might change you and your life. Jesus says these words, and I shared them with you last week in the book of Matthew. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you more to do. No, he doesn't say that. He says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I love the Message translation. It's beautiful. Listen to the Message translation of this passage. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me, work with me, watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Jesus ran at a slower pace. So why wouldn't you and I, who consider ourselves followers, why wouldn't we do the same? Here's what I want to suggest. The reason we don't live the same pace is because we're either running from something or we're running towards something. We're always running from a dysfunctional family, running from insignificance, running from a feeling that I'm just too small in this great big world, running from abuse, or running toward an image of success, running towards some accumulated wealth that you must attain, toward an achievement, running towards something that you think will bring safety in your life. We are all running from something or toward something. And the problem is, the way I live is very different from Jesus' life. The problem is most of our lives are like those treadmill videos where we are running and our lives are going too fast and faster and faster. And here's the thing about a treadmill. You can run as fast as you can for as long as you can, and you can put on a whole lot of miles. But when you are running on a treadmill, you are honestly not going anywhere. And when we live lives like that, we are always left asking, why is there never enough time in a day? Why is there never enough time for the things that matter most? And here's the truth. You have time for what you choose to have time for. Really profound, isn't it? You have time for what you choose to have time for. And this isn't a biblical thing. The solution is not more time. The solution is more of what matters. Let me give you a couple examples of this. Social media. The average person spends 872 hours per year on social media. That's over 5 months of working hours. If you are younger, you are an overachiever. High school students spend 1,800 hours a year on social media. And get this, the average son or daughter spends just 206 hours face-to-face with their parents. You have time for what you have time for. Television. The average adult spends 1,500 hours every year watching TV. That means if you are 65 or older, you have spent 9 years of your life in front of a television. You have time for what you have time for. And I want to talk to you young men. I want to talk to you for a minute. The average 21-year-old guy has spent 10,000 hours playing video games. You could read 2,000 books, get a pilot's license, get a graduate or undergraduate degree, save your marriage, reconcile a relationship with a family member, have the greatest relationship with your kids, or you can mindlessly waste your life. The truth for all of us is this: you have time for what you choose to have time for. Now, some of you are listening and thinking, oh, that's all great, Pastor. I've been listening to you now for 15 minutes. So what do I do? I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you do, because I don't know what you need to do. But I know that this is a problem in my life, and I'm taking the steps in my life to do something about it. Do you want to know how I know it's a problem in my life? Last week when we introduced this series, a friend of mine sent me a message on Monday after watching our message online and said, "Wow, Sturgey, it seems like you are preaching to you!" Exclamation point, exclamation point. I know this is an issue in my life. But here's what I also know. This is hard, but I also know that if you don't slow down, you'll eventually be forced to slow down, because God created you with limits. We have a God who has designed us with limits. So what is it that will stop us from our busyness? Will it be a heart attack? A broken marriage? Will it be your mental health that begins to suffer? Or will it be when you self-medicate yourself to alcoholism? You see, God created us with limits. But I also know that God is love. And at the core of what all God calls us to be is love. God is love, and all who live in love and live in God, and God lives in them. 1 John 4:16. And at the core of who God is and who God calls us to be is love. The invitation is for us to lead with love and to be the love of the world. But the problem is this. In John Mark Comer's book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, he writes these words: "Love is incompatible with hurry, and I'm always in a hurry." And here's the thing, Jesus seems to suggest the same thing. In a Bible passage that if you have ever attended a wedding, you've probably heard this. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, in which Paul describes what love actually is. He says, love is patient. Love is kind. I can stop right there. Because he says the most important thing that love is patient. What's that mean? It means that love takes time. So I want to close today by suggesting a prayer that we can all pray each and every day. And the prayer goes just like this. God, help me walk slowly enough to experience Jesus fully and love people deeply. What might happen if we prayed that prayer every day? God, help me walk slowly enough to experience Jesus fully and love people deeply. I wonder if it will make us more present in the moment, present with the people we care about the most, present with our sons and our daughters and our spouses, present with our coworkers, more present with our friends. Because here's what I find in my own life. I'm often there physically, but not mentally. I'm listening when often my mind is spinning. I mean, does this sound familiar to you? You find yourself in a situation where you are physically present, but emotionally and mentally you are not present and you're checked out. Everyone is on their devices doing their own things. I want to share something with you that you probably didn't know. Did you know that on the smartphone, on the side, there is this thing called the power button? And on the side, it actually shuts your phone off. What if we began to choose what's important and eliminate what's not? Realizing that picking up our phone isn't nearly as important as the person who's literally in front of you, or better yet, saying no to some good things in order to say yes to some even better things. What if we prayed that prayer? God, help me walk slowly enough to experience Jesus fully and to love people deeply. Jesus did a lot in his short life. And if you follow Jesus in his ministry, he was never in a hurry. He was never running. He was always walking. And get this, he was always walking somewhere. He was always walking toward Jerusalem. He was walking to the cross. He was always walking slowly toward the cross. And it was a walk of love. And I wonder, what would it be like as a church, as people who follow Jesus in this hurting, divided world? What would it be like to be known as a church filled with people willing to walk a slow walk of love with those around us, pointing them to Jesus? There are so many people in our lives right now who are hurting financially. What would it look like to walk the slow walk of love? We all have friends who are going through a divorce, or kids who are not turning out the way they imagine. What if we walked a slow walk of love with our friends? See, the answer is not more time. It's more of what matters. So one more time. God, help me walk slowly enough to experience Jesus fully and to love people deeply. Amen.
I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Oh, you're perfect. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Love so undeniable, I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable, I can hardly think as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love. Love, love, love. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're perfect. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Oh, you're perfect. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Your Father, it's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love faithful, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. I felt no word, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, the reckless love. Oh, we love you, Lord. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, you're coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, you're coming after me. No shadow, no, there's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, you're coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, you're coming after me. No shadow, no, there's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, you're coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, you're coming after me. No shadow, no, there's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, you're coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, you're coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. Oh. Let's sing You're a Good, Good Father. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am.